guys, welcome to today's video and happy back to school season. It's crazy that it's already back to school, but I'm honestly excited. I thought I'd share my tips with you guys as a senior university student. These past few years, I feel like I've learned so many things just in terms of uni life and making friends and studying and everything. And I'm just gonna get into it. I'm gonna tell you guys all of my tips and things I've learned these past couple of years. The first one, I know this is obvious, but do not wait till later to make friends. I say this as a senior who obviously always open to meeting new people and making new friends, but I noticed the biggest difference in my openness to making new friends, in my motivation to meet new people, in my excitement, in my willingness to try a lot of new things so that I could meet new people, whereas now I'm just so much more comfortable. In first year and second year, that is when people are looking for their friends, looking for their group, looking for their clique. They're trying to find their people, and so I feel like that's when everybody is just so excited and so open to meeting new people. They're going to club events, different parties, everything. So that is the time to find your friends. If you wait too long, even to second year, I had my first year online. First year was technically my second year, but that's when I met the majority of my uni friends was in second year, because we were all just so excited to meet everyone and go to all these different events happening on campus, and we were just like, super excited and super motivated. And now we're all just so comfortable with each other, which is so great. And I think it's really special when you get to that point with your friends where you're just so happy and comfortable with each other that you're not really seeking other people. It's also just kind of nice to make friends early on because you end up sharing so much of your uni experience together, and the uni experience, there's nothing like it. Once it's done, you are not going to experience the same thing. I just think it's such a really special time of life where you're going to classes, but half the time you're going to parties with your friends, you're going to homecoming, you're going to all these games, you're even meeting up to study, and you just end up making so many fun and special memories. There's always really good stories. You want to have people to share that with. You want to have people that you graduate with and you can look back and you've had all these special memories with them. Go to clubs day, go to different club events. If there's any kind of orientation happening on campus, go. There's definitely going to be so many opportunities for you to meet people. The next one, this is something that I really had to remind myself, which is that everyone studies differently. Everybody has a different learning style, a different way they learn. Everybody needs a different amount of time to learn. So don't compare yourself to others. Just learn what works for you. Figure out for yourself how much time you need to study something. It can be really hard, and you can start to get anxious when someone's like, I already started studying for this exam and it's in like 2 weeks, and you're like, I didn't even start. I have other things to do. I have other classes to focus on. I have assignments due this week. Do not stress. Definitely give yourself enough time to be able to study and not have to cram everything into one night. But just remember that because someone started 2 weeks ago doesn't mean that you need to. And on the flip side of that as well, if you notice that one of your friends only takes a couple days to study and they usually do pretty well, that doesn't mean that you're less smart, and that doesn't mean that you don't have the same capabilities. It just means that everybody learns so differently. Just focus on yourself, focus on your path, focus on what works for you, and don't compare yourself to anyone around you. So this is something that my friend told me once. She told me that from me, she learned that academics are not worth your physical and mental health. She was in a program that was really weighing on her, and it was really affecting her mental health and her physical health to the point that she was going to hospitals. And I cannot stress this enough. Academics are never worth your health. It is never that serious. It is never that deep to the point that your health should be suffering that much. And I'm not really sure how I learned this. This is something that I've just always had in the back of my mind. As much as I care about my academics and I care about my grades, I have never let them, or at least I try my best to never let them get in the way of my health and my mental health and my physical health as well. I always make sure that I'm making time to make good food, that I'm getting enough sleep at night, that I'm doing all the things to take care of my health. And in turn, I feel like because I do that, my academics end up being really well, just because I'm taking care of myself in other aspects of my life. So I'm able to focus in class, I'm able to study properly. So many people struggle with this when they get to university is they have trouble finding the right balance between academics, personal life, physical health, mental health, all the things, and something ends up suffering. But this is me reminding you, I know academics are important. I know that we're paying money for this education and that we're working towards a degree, but at the end of the day, it should never be to the point where your health is struggling. We're all here to get our degrees. If I can find a way to balance and kind of have a well-rounded life, I just think that's optimal and that's ideal for everyone. So I highly recommend. There's some seagulls or something fighting outside, so I apologize for that noise. I really highly recommend just curating your life in a way where you create a really good balance between your personal life, between your academics, between your work life if you have a work life, which I highly recommend working in university. There are so many opportunities for you on campus, and they end up being so flexible with time because they know that you're a student. The pay is usually better than what you would find at a hostess job or something, and you end up getting really good opportunities, connecting with really cool people, learning a lot of valuable skills. I'm getting ahead of myself and I'm jumping to the next tip, but yeah, I just really think it's so important to have a well-rounded life when you're in university and not make academics your entire life. So yeah, please keep that in mind, just because I've seen so many people struggle mentally and physically, and I don't want that to happen to you guys. So just remind yourself, and if you ever find yourself struggling to find that balance, just come back and watch this video and I will tell you myself for commuters, because I'm a commuter myself, and I think that's always been my biggest struggle with going to university, is just being a commuter, because it can just be really hard, especially because I'm like an hour away. So not only do I spend a lot of time getting there, but also once I'm there I have to stay there the whole day. I can't go back to my dorm to change, to make some food, to take a nap. Once I'm there, I'm there. So I try to make my experience as optimal as possible and make sure that I have everything I need. So the first thing is to have some kind of essentials bag, and in this bag you're gonna put all the things you need. I put a lot of girly things. I put a lot of small makeup samples, so if I don't have time to make my makeup in the morning, or maybe I wasn't in the mood to and now I want to feel a little cuter, then I put a bunch of makeup in my little bag so I can touch up if I need to. I put pads if it's the girly time of the month. I put mints because I always want to be smelling good, little perfumes, wipes, even hand sanitizer. I just put everything that I think is essential for me during the day to make sure that I'm prepared if anything comes about, then I have all the things I need. And this for me was game-changing, honestly. It just made the whole commuter experience a lot easier for me, and I didn't have to stress anytime if my girly time came and I wasn't prepared for it. That's okay, because I actually was prepared and I packed the stuff that I need. So yeah, just those little things made the commuter experience a lot better for me. Following up with that, if you can, get a locker. So at my university there's a lot of lockers that you can rent, because another issue with being a commuter is that you're carrying your bag all the time, and it can be so heavy because you're carrying your laptop, you're carrying your water bottle, you might be carrying some food, your wallet, maybe a notebook. There's so many things that you have to carry throughout the day. Especially for me, when I first started, things weren't as digital, so I also had books to carry. I had little notebooks, I had binders, I had a lot of things to carry, and it was so heavy. And yeah, it was also just kind of frustrating to be carrying that stuff around all day. So by getting a locker, it made my life a lot easier. It's also kind of nice because it reminds me of high school, and as much as I'm over high school and I don't miss it, one thing I loved was having a locker and decorating my locker, putting all my things in my locker. It's part of the experience, and it was fun and I loved it. So that's a little bit of a taste of high school, and it honestly makes the biggest difference. So if you're a commuter, I highly recommend. It's gonna make such a difference. The third one for commuters, and then I'll move on to tips for everyone. I'm so passionate about being a commuter, but for this tip is to find the best places to chill on campus. So you're gonna want a list of different places where there's a lot of plugs so you can charge your laptop and you can charge your phone. Places with comfortable seating, because you'll probably have breaks in between your classes, and sometimes you might want to study, but other times you might just need a break. So you want to go somewhere where you can get comfortable, not necessarily take a nap. You could take a nap, some people do. I personally don't do that, but I at least have places where I know there's like comfortable couches where I can lie down, I can rest a bit, I can feel a little cozy and not have to sit on the wooden, sturdy, really uncomfortable chair for like 2 hours while I wait for my next class. So definitely spend those first couple of weeks scoping out campus and exploring all the different places so that you can find all your favorite spots. You also want to obviously look for somewhere to study. Ask people too where they recommend for you to study if they know a good spot. Moving on from the commuter stuff, the next one is to go to school games even if you don't understand. I went to my first homecoming football game and I had no idea what was going on. I truly was so confused the entire time, but it was so much fun. I had so much fun. First time I went with this girl who is now one of my best friends, but at the time we had just met during orientation, and we just had so much fun. We both had no idea what was going on, but we both just kept saying we feel like we're in a movie. This feels like one of those American movies where there's cheerleaders and there's a football game and a marching band and there's so much going on and there's so much school spirit and people are doing the wave. Like, it honestly felt like I was in a movie in the best way, and I just had so much fun. The vibes are so special and the school spirit is just like no other whenever you go to those games. So I highly recommend bring your friends and go. You're gonna have so much fun. They're also free, at least at my university. I'm sure it'll be the same for you guys, but for us all the games are free for students. So if you're on a budget and you want to go do something fun with your friends and you're not sure what, go to the games. Trust me, there's always games happening too. I forgot to charge my camera, so it's currently charging, so I'm gonna be filming in this angle for the rest of the video. My next tip is to sleep. And I say this because when I was a freshman and when most of my friends were freshmen, sleep was just like not a priority. But trust me, sleep is so important when you're gonna be studying so much and you're gonna have so much to do. When you're not getting enough sleep, you end up being so anxious and it's so counterproductive because you can't focus, and in turn you don't end up sleeping because you need to study. It's just a really horrible cycle. So try your best from the beginning to establish a good sleep cycle, and it's also going to help so much with your mental health and also your physical health if you prioritize your sleep. And yeah, overall I just feel like my performance is better because I'm getting good sleep. This next one, you're going to save so much money by doing this, but wait to purchase your textbooks. On a lot of syllabuses it'll say a textbook is required, and sometimes it is, but the amount of times I've purchased a textbook and then a prof will be like, you won't actually need it that much, everything you need is going to be in the lectures, everything that's testable is going to be just from my lectures, and then I end up just regretting my decision so bad because I spent, I don't know, $150 on a textbook that I'm not going to use. So definitely wait until the first or second class, because the prof will usually go over the syllabus and they'll let you know if you need the textbook or not. If you need the textbook, you can go and purchase it. I know people like to be prepared before class. I'm like that too, where I want everything prepared for my first day, but you'll honestly save yourself so much money by just waiting a class or two and confirming with the prof if you need the textbook or not. Because also other times the prof will provide another link where you can get the textbook for cheaper, or you can get a reused one. Sometimes they'll even upload like photocopies of the pages that you need for the textbook, so a lot of the times you don't end up needing the textbook. So just wait a couple days, you're gonna save yourself some money and you're gonna be so happy that you did. My camera needed to charge a bit, so I did actually take a break. I'm back, I'm wearing glasses. Let's just get back into my list. I think the last one that I was talking about was saving your skips, and what I mean by that is that in high school you don't really skip, at least I never did, because it just felt like illegal. Really shouldn't skip in high school. Skipping in university is different. It is a lot more common, and that's something that I realized over time, because a lot of the time you're not really required to be there. Like some classes have attendance and you need to be there, but a lot of the time they don't, and it's just up to you to get the material, get the content. Yeah, you're not really held accountable because you're just responsible for your grades and your studying and making sure that you have all your content, which I honestly love. I really think it's up to you. If it's not one of those classes where there's a lot of participation or a lot of group work and you just sit there and it's a lecture, then I definitely think it should be up to you whether you attend or not if you have other circumstances come up. What I mean by saving them is that I went through a phase where I was taking this one course and it was required, but I really hated it. It felt like such a waste of time. I felt like in that time I could go home, I could study, I could do so many things, but my presence just, I didn't learn anything in that course. But I did have to go. But I did get comfortable with not going, and I've stopped doing that. Don't do that, because as much as it's annoying, you definitely should go because you will need those skips later in different times. So for example, for me, if I have not slept well the night before, if I haven't gotten any sleep, then sometimes I won't go to my class the next day. And because I have to commute to campus and I want to be alert, I want to be feeling good, I really just don't push myself too hard to do it if I haven't been able to sleep the whole night, because I know that even if I push myself to go, I'm gonna be so tired that I'm not gonna focus on any of the content. I'm not gonna feel good. I might end up feeling sick afterwards. Instead of just taking that time to rest and study for something else and just asking someone in class, hey, can you send me the notes, or going over the lecture slides, just finding another way to make sure that I stay on top of class without overexerting myself. So those are moments, for example, where I tend to skip class. Other times, if I'm feeling sick or if I'm having really bad anxiety, or sometimes I'm overwhelmed with work and I know that my time will be more useful doing all the assignments I have or studying for a big exam or something, instead of going to a class where I know there's nothing really important going on. This is something that I feel like I've gotten really good at. I only skip if I feel it's important, and for me, things like not getting sleep the night before are important. I know that's going to be debatable between people. I know other people are going to view it as maybe ridiculous, or it doesn't matter, you didn't sleep, you have to go to class, but this is something I wholeheartedly believe in, and that's where my belief comes in, and how I find my balance between school, personal life, everything is in moments like that. I know that this is the time to prioritize my physical health, and this is the time to prioritize my body and how it's feeling, and make sure that I'm resting and not overexert myself, especially when I don't need to. Obviously, if I have an exam that day, if I have a group project, or I'm supposed to meet with my group and they're depending on me, I will go. Even though I'm tired, I'm not feeling well, those are moments where I will go because it is necessary. But if it's just another lecture where I can catch up on the content on my own way, then there's no need to overexert myself more than I need to. This next one, also something that I learned with time, but it's that there can be a lot of pressure on your uni friendships that they're for life. And I say this because a lot of people will say that they met their core friends in university. I actually think that I met my core friends in high school. I have been friends with them to this day and I love them dearly, and I've also met some amazing friends in uni that I have a feeling like will definitely be friends for a long time. But I tried not to put so much pressure on all my friendships that they have to be these like, perfect friendships. We're going to be best friends for life. No, it doesn't have to be that way, especially because in my university, for example, there's a lot of international people and you can definitely stay friends when you live in different places, and that's my goal, to stay in touch with all these girls, stay best friends for a long time. But life happens and you don't have to hold yourself back from becoming friends with someone if you don't think that they're going to be around in 5 years. If you think that life is going to take you different places, live in the moment and enjoy the friendships that you have now. Enjoy them for what they are. Have as much fun as you can. Whether they're meant to continue in your life after uni or not, that's just going to be seen with time. Nothing is going to tell better where those friendships are headed other than time. So you might as well just live in the present, enjoy them now, and don't hold yourself back from making new friends, meeting new people. If it develops into something long term, that's great. But even if it doesn't, then you still got this amazing friendship for like, I don't know, 4 years. You made so many memories together, you had so much fun together, so that's something to celebrate and enjoy in itself. Not every friendship is meant to last 20 years. I'm grateful for every friendship that I have and have had in my life, and I'm going to have, for each thing that it taught me, all the memories I made with this person, all the experiences we shared, whether that person is in my life today or not. I'm still grateful for those people and that time. Uni is really supposed to be about fun. It's such a fun time in your life, and it's the time where you have so much freedom, because once you graduate and you work full time, you're kind of not stuck. I don't want to say stuck because it is amazing in its own way, but you know, your life is structured. You have somewhere to be every day from 9 to 5 if you work a 9 to 5. And yeah, uni, there's just so much freedom, you have so much time, so definitely fill your time with people that you meet and just try to have a lot of fun with it. The next one is don't kill yourself with courses. For example, with electives, try to take GPA boosters. You'll find so many different Reddits that tell you all the GPA boosters at your university. You can also research your profs on Rate My Profs and find which profs have good reviews, which profs are known to be easy, they grade well. Make it as easy for yourself as possible, because there are going to be courses that you're going to be required to take that are not going to be easy, and you don't get to choose your prof, and you might get a prof that you don't really like, you don't like their grading, you don't like the way they test you. When you have the option to choose, make it easy for yourself if you can. Just try to work smarter and not harder. So as you guys can probably tell, I'm wearing a different outfit. It is a different day. I was trying so hard to film this whole video in one day, but my camera hadn't charged like I thought it would that morning, so every time I tried to charge it for a little bit and film, it just kept dying. So I was like, you know what, I don't think this video is meant to happen today. So I'm back to continue the video today. My camera's fully charged. So back to my tips. My next one is, if you can, this is for the girlies, plan your outfit the night before. I say this because in uni, a lot of the times you'll end up being sleep deprived and you just don't want that, and if there's any way that you can save yourself some sleep, you definitely want to take it. So something that has saved me so much sleep and so much stress and just like so much energy in the morning is just picking out my outfit the night before. I swear it just makes your life so much better when you have your outfit ready, and that's one less thing that you have to worry about in the morning. Sometimes when you're rushing in the morning, you don't really get to think about your outfit and make it as cute as you can. You just pick 2 pieces of clothing, put them together, and call it a day. But by doing it the night before, you have time to put together an outfit, like networks. And I think this is the business student in me coming out, but I also think about it as I'm building all these connections that could benefit me in the future. It could benefit me in terms of work. Maybe someone that I got to know during my uni years, later down the line, they're working with a company, and because I know them, because we have a relationship from our uni days, something could open up for me and I could have a reference. This next one is so important because uni can be so tough sometimes, but it's to have rewards for yourself, especially after like terms, after finals. You have a tough week coming ahead where you have, let's say, a lot of assignments due, or you have this one midterm that you're not excited about, or just anything that's been weighing on you. The best way to motivate yourself is to have some kind of reward, whether that reward be going out with your girls for dinner or going dancing, or I don't know, even just getting a sweet treat. But try to always have little rewards yourself throughout the day even and throughout the week to kind of motivate you and keep you going. This I feel like has helped me so much just by having plans every week, just because I'm someone who's very extroverted and I love spending time with my friends. So something that keeps me motivated and keeps me excited and makes me work hard is just having little events and little plans plans with my friends every week that are gonna make me want to complete my work so that I can make it to those events. Also little things, sometimes if I'm having a tough day and I'm on campus and I'm just not feeling the best, and I'll do a little something for myself after class or after work. I'll go and get a little sweet treat. I'll go get myself a little cookie or something, and just those little things can make the whole experience so much more bearable when you're having a tough week. I don't know, I think it's worth it to do those little things for yourself and give yourself a little break, have something to look forward to, have people to look forward to. It can also just be as simple as lining up your lunch times with one of your friends so that you can both take a break together, have some friend time, have someone to talk to, have someone you can socialize with, and just take you out of the headspace of those courses and just school in general. It can be really tough to stay in that headspace all of the time of school and exams and work and group projects and all those things. So you definitely want to find little ways to separate yourself from that environment, and the easiest way to do that is just to see your friends. Like I said before, you want to have a different variety of friends because your party friends might not necessarily be your study friends, and vice versa. There's certain friends that I party with or certain friends that I hang out with that I will not be able to focus and study when I'm with them, just because we have so much to talk about. We're just so energetic around each other, and yeah, it's just kind of hard to get into that study mindset. So I'll keep that in mind, and I won't waste my time trying to study with those people when I know instead I'll enjoy my time with them so much better. I'll go shopping, when we go out for dinner, anything where we can just have a yap sesh and not feel bad about it because we're not supposed to be studying. Try to have different friends that keep you motivated in different ways. So again, that ties back into have a lot of friends, and I don't say that in a way where it's like you need to have 100,000 friends. Really not like that, but it's just like having a good variety of friends for different things, because not every friend is gonna be the person that you can go and get coffee with, the person that you can go shopping with, the person that you can get dinner with, the person that you can go to school events with, the person that you can study with, the person that you can work out with. Like, there's so many different activities, and not every friend is gonna want to do the same things that you're gonna want to do. They might have some different interests. So try to have a good variety of friends that you can foster your different interests with, and I feel like it keeps you well-rounded, helps you not feel alone. If there's something that you really want to do but maybe your best friend is just not interested in doing that, then you have another friend that you can call up and be like, hey, I want to go to this workout class, do you want to come with me? So I think it's good to be well-rounded with your friends. Try to get to know people in class well enough so that you can ask for notes if you miss the class. I honestly don't do this. I say this, but I don't do this just because I really don't like those class friendships where you only talk in class and then you never really talk again. I've done that before in my earlier years and I just don't really enjoy it, but I do think it's worth it just because inevitably, like, you'll most likely have to miss a class or two throughout the term. You might get sick, you might have an appointment, things come up. So having a friend that you can just text and be like, hey, can you send me some notes, is gonna save you a lot of heartache. And even though I don't do it, I recommend that you do it, at least in the earlier years. I feel like in the later years, I just figured out my way with classes and how to catch up on things that I miss. But I definitely think in the beginning, because uni is so new and the environment is very new and it's a lot more fast-paced than probably what you're used to in high school, it's just good to have people that you can rely on. This next one took me a while, but don't be scared of office hours. If anything, this is gonna help you build a relationship with your professor and they'll remember you and they'll be more willing to help you out and cut you some slack because they'll see that you're putting in effort. So for example, if you're in a class and it has participation marks and you're someone that goes to office hours and you talk to your prof, you ask your question, you're most likely going to end up with a better grade for participation just because they're seeing that you're putting in the work, they're seeing that you're asking them questions. When I have done this, I have noticed the biggest difference in my relationship with my professors and how much more comfortable I am asking them questions and how much nicer they are, honestly. And I can say that in terms of my grades, obviously your grades are going to be dependent on all the assignments that you do, all the exams that you do, but here and there, things like participation, like I said, when you do go to things like office hours, I notice that they will cut you some slack on that end, and that's somewhere where they can boost your grade a little bit. So definitely don't be scared. It can definitely feel a little bit daunting because you are one-on-one with the professor. But if anything, I've realized that it is so much more comfortable than asking questions in class. And just try to be on your professor's radar if you can, especially in courses where you might be struggling. Professors, for the most part, are really nice and really caring. It obviously depends on the prof. Every once in a while you get an oddball where they're not really the nicest, but for the most part, they are very nice and they are very willing to take your questions, to help you out, to give you some extra guidance, or even just additional resources that can help you out. Something about me is that I'm really good with time management, and I've been like that for the past couple of years. I have a planner, I have a calendar, and I tend to try my best to schedule the week ahead on the Saturday or the Sunday before, just so I know what's coming up in that week and I know when I can give myself breaks and time to see my friends and time to relax. And also finding time for my passion projects. For me, YouTube is kind of a passion project, so I always like to make sure that I have time every week to film a video, to edit a video, to come up with new ideas, to make my little TikToks, and just find an overall balance. So definitely try your best to work on your time management in uni. The last one, if you can. This can be hard and I don't always get to do this. It depends on the time of year, depends how busy I am, but I try my best to schedule in a lazy day every week. Ideally it's every week. It doesn't always end up being that way. I usually do at least something every day because I have something to get done. But if I can, especially in the beginning when I'm not too busy, just to have a day. For me, it's usually Saturday because that's my family day. That's when I'm usually home with my family. We'll get takeout. I try my best to have that day just be like a rest, reset day. So that's the day where I don't work, I don't do a lot of school, and I overall just don't have these expectations for myself that on this day I have all these things to complete, because that's my day to be lazy, to rest, to reset, and just have me time and recharge. So if you can, here and there, try to schedule in a lazy day. And I feel like sometimes your body just really needs it. A day where you sleep in and you have no alarm set. Have the day to yourself, to rest, to relax, to scroll on TikTok, to binge watch a show, to eat some good food, spend time with your family, spend time with your friends, and not feel guilty about the fact that you're not spending time working. I think that's the key, is that if you do all these things but in the back of your mind you're stressing about the fact that you could be going to a workout class, you could be working on this assignment, you could start studying for this exam, then that day is not going to be restful for you in the way that it needs to be. And you need those days. You need active, restful days where you're actively giving yourself that time to rest and reset. So try your best. I know it's just kind of like a mindset, but try your best to shift that mindset and just allow yourself to have those days. If you are a freshman going into uni, if you've just graduated high school and you're about to go in, I know it's gonna feel scary at the beginning. I know it's gonna be nerve-wracking, but trust me, you're gonna get the hang of it. And these next 4 years, 5 years, however long you stay in uni, they're gonna be some of the best years of your life. You're gonna have so many fun opportunities, so many fun experiences. You're gonna meet really cool people, and yeah, there's just so many amazing things about uni. It's just a very special time, so be excited, and I promise you it's gonna be so much fun. That's gonna be it for this video. I feel like I've been babbling for forever, so I'm just gonna end it off here. I love you guys so much. Happy back to school, and I'll see you next week.